In this video, let's talk about in-season lifting for football, and specifically, let's talk about how you break down your weekly training plan with your team during the in-season. The example schedule that I'm about to break down specifically relates to the collegiate level. However, if you're on the high school level, you can do the exact same ideas, the exact same principles. You're probably just going to move it forward a day. So whereas most college games take place on a Saturday, most high school games take place on a Friday, you can take the same ideas and principles, just move it back a day. So with that being said, during the in-season, once we got done with camp, we would sit down, the strength staff, the football staff, and we would break down our team. And we'd break them down into 3 categories. And those 3 categories would be a 2-day lifting plan, a 3-day lifting plan, and a developmental plan, which was essentially 5 days a week. So your 2-day lifters are going to be your 2 deep. They're going to be your starters, your backup. Guys that are going to be playing a significant number of reps on game day. Your 3-day guys are going to be potentially special teams guys, maybe some third string guys. Let's say, for instance, you have a tight end who's your third tight end. He plays on the punt team. He plays on kickoff return. Maybe he gets 7 to 8 snaps per game. That guy is going to be a good candidate for the 3-day lifting plan. Then you're going to have your developmental guys, your 5-day-a-week guys. Those are your red shirts. Those are any of your players that aren't traveling. They're not seeing reps on game day. They're going to fall into that developmental plan. So now, as far as how the week breaks down for each of these groups. So everybody on the team is going to get their first lift in on either a Sunday or a Monday. And that just depends on what is our off day. So during the in-season, you have one mandatory off day for the players. And typically, most teams are going to use that on either Sunday or use that on Monday. And it just depends on, I've done it both ways. It depends on the staff and when they want to break down film and how they want to prepare with the kids. But it's going to be one of those 2 days per week. Now, if you have a Sunday, if Monday is your day off and you're going to have a Sunday lift, that actually works out pretty well for the weight room because you've got a lot more time on Sunday. You're not having to worry about classes on Sunday. So you'll be able to get your lifts in. You'll be able to set them up easier, either before film, after film, before practice, however you want to set it up that day. If it's on Monday, typically it's going to be usually right after practice. If you have practice in the morning, I should say, it's going to be right after practice, and then guys got to get to class. If you have afternoon practice, sometimes it's a morning lift that you'll do like on the hour, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9:15, 10:15, 11:15, and you'll roll through guys throughout the morning. If you're in a situation where you have morning class and it's going to be that lift directly after practice, one of the things that we would do is we would optionally, and this is very important, you got to make sure that it is very clearly optional, but we would give guys the option to come in and get their first lift in on Sunday. One, I like lifting the day after the game, so you're moving the body, you're working through ranges of motion, working some of that soreness out from the game. But logistically, what that's going to help you do is going to help alleviate some of the stress of the entire team coming in after practice and getting that lift in after practice. So now, the 3-day guys are going to do this exact same lift, exact same time frame. Now, the developmental guys are going to do pretty much the exact same lift. However, if it's a Monday morning type of a deal, Monday lift, we'll lift those guys usually before practice during meetings. While the travel guys are in meetings, we'll lift these guys in the morning, again, to alleviate that stress with 100 guys coming into the weight room right after practice, which can end up turning into a cluster really, really fast. Now, as far as what we're doing that day, that's the days where we're going to hit our pulls from the floor, some type of pull variation. We're going to hit our squats on that day, usually some type of a single leg work, hamstring work. Basically, it's going to be a lower body dominant day because we want to get that knocked out of the way as far away from our next game day as possible. Okay, so day 2. So your 2-day lift guys, their second day is going to be on Tuesday. 3-day guys are going to be on Tuesday. Developmental guys still going to be on Tuesday. And this is our upper body lift. Again, typically it's going to be after practice, if it's a morning practice, and before practice in the morning. Again, if you have an afternoon practice, typically you're going to set up multiple lift group times in the morning throughout the day to get these guys rolling in and get that done. this is going to be, like I said, your upper body day. We're going to bench that day. A lot of times it's a board bench to take some of the stress off the shoulders, but a big 40-45 minutes, predominantly upper body lift with also some different range of motion things, some different stability, mobility exercises, but predominantly we're talking about an upper body lift. So now, your 2-day-a-week guys, at that point, they're done for the week. Now, your 3-day-a-week guys, their third lift of the week is going to be on Wednesday, okay? And with that lift, what I like to do is I like to make this an Olympic-oriented lift. I'm a big believer in the Olympic lifts. We do a lot of Olympic lifting variations in the off season. So I'm going to use this day typically with a lot of younger players, right, who are, again, that third string player, that special teams player, so we can continue to reinforce all of our different technique from the Olympic lift standpoint. So it's a great way to have a small group setting to do a lot of teaching and hone in a lot of those lifting techniques. And it works well to have a fast, explosive, power type of a workout, so we're not seeing any kind of soreness, any kind of fatigue from a couple days out from the game. Now, even if you crush it on Wednesday, by the time Saturday rolls around, you should be fine anyway. But we really don't want to hammer those guys on that third day. Now, here's where it kind of changes up a little bit. The developmental guys, while this group is in the weight room, this group is actually going to be outside. And that day we use for them to do speed work. So we'll take these guys out on the field, usually in the morning times while your travel guys are in meetings, and we'll take them through speed technique. And so again, what we're trying to do is you're going to have a lot of redshirt freshmen, right, that's not necessarily been through an off season yet. We're going to teach them a lot of our speed mechanics, a lot of our speed drills, speed mechanic drills, wall drills, things of that nature. One, because it's great development for them, and two, when we do get to January, when we do get to the off season and we're doing all of our speed work in the wintertime, we're not having to slow down and teach all these new guys how to do all the different drills, what all the different techniques are. And you're going to have a lot bigger setting. In January, you're going to have potentially 80, 90 guys out going through a winter workout, whereas here with this developmental group, you can maybe have 20, 25, 30 guys. It's going to be a lot smaller group, and so you can do a lot more teaching with those smaller numbers. Now, having said that, understand that there are going to be some young guys. You're going to have some freshmen that's going to fall into this group and this group, okay? So there are going to be some guys that hit that winter that still needs to learn all the different drills and the techniques and whatnot. However, if they're coming in straight from the high school level and they're jumping right into this group, or they're jumping right into that group, they're probably really good athletes, and they're going to pick up on any kind of drill or any kind of technique that you're going to throw at them really fast anyway. So I wouldn't worry and stress too much about that. So now your 3-day guys, they're done. So you've got your first day lift, lower body, pull, squats, your second day lift, upper body, and then your Olympic base, your Olympic dominant lift on that third day. So now your developmental guys on Thursday, they're going to hit basically this third day lift that is a very Olympic lift heavy, but we're also going to add a little more volume to those guys. All right, so they're going to still hit, some type of probably a snatch and a clean or a pull, something of that nature, but we're also going to hit them with some extra volume on the back half of that. Could be upper body or lower body, and that's going to be dependent upon this day right here. All right, so this is one of my favorite days of the week. So that's our developmental lift for our non-travel guys. This is usually a fun workout. Sometimes it's a themed workout. So it's a lot of times, almost always, it's some type of a competition workout where we'll cook something up crazy for them. Still an extremely tough workout, but a lot of times on this day is when tire flips get involved, prowler pushes get involved, something to do, in the stadium, on the stadium steps, something of that nature to make it fun, to make it competitive, but also to make it really tough. But if we know that this Friday is going to absolutely hammer their lower body, then we may make this day a little bit more upper body, again on the volume after the Olympic lifting. If this day is going to have a heavy upper body emphasis, then we'll just flip-flop it. But that's how we would break it down. So once you come out of camp, break down your team into your starters, your 2 deep, right? So some of those guys that are maybe special teams players, and then your developmental. And then it's a 2-day lift, 3-day lift, developmental lift. So hope that helped you out a little bit with how you can plan and structure your settings and how to set up your in-season lifts. Thanks for watching.